Alrighty, we are back again for another video. So happy to have this guest joining me today. Longtime friend, viewer, subscriber, just all around nice guy. I'm joined by FutureGohanSSJ2. What is going on, Jamie? How have you been, bro?
I've been pretty good, Chris. How you doing?
You know what, dude? I was gonna say I'm doing okay, but I'm not doing just okay. I think I'm doing better than okay, bro.
Oh, really? Why is that, Chris?
Because of today's bombshell announcement. Now, if you guys have not heard, this is breaking news as of, earlier this morning. But Cartoon Network, Toonami, Adult Swim have all confirmed that Samurai Jack, yes, you heard that right, Samurai Jack is indeed returning with a brand new season, a brand new series. We don't know how far this would go. Set to come out in 2016. And, as awesome as that sounds, it's really great that we're getting a new Samurai Jack. That's not the best part about it. Jamie, what is the best part about Samurai Jack making a return?
The best part about Samurai Jack making a return?
The best part.
The nostalgia.
I was going to say that the original creator was involved, but, I guess that's kind of cool, too. That's kind of cool,
don't act like you don't get a little teary-eyed whenever you see the fact that your favorite action cartoon from the past is coming back. Your boy Jack is back in the picture.
Back in black, bro. Back in black. But yeah, so this Samurai Jack announcement literally just came out of nowhere. I mean, there was some speculation for a while, if I remember correctly. Gendy, I cannot pronounce his last name for the life of me. Do you know how to actually pronounce it so I'm not butchering it?
Gendy Tartakovsky.
Tartakovsky. Now, what is that? I'm going to sound so ignorant. Is that Russian?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Someone's going to come down in the comment section and say, actually, sir, it's whatever this place is. But yeah,
it's Czechoslovakian.
Yo, man, check your privilege. But yeah, so for a while now, I think he's been trying to pitch some type of new Samurai Jack content, be it I think for the longest time it was a movie, right? He wanted to get off the ground.
Yes, he originally wanted to bring Samurai Jack into theaters around the globe. He went around from director to director, including the person who's directing the new Star Wars, J.J. Abrams. He went to him. He went to all sorts of different people, but they never really wanted to do the movie that Gendy himself wanted to do, so he kept trying to find director to director. So my assumption is that he just kind of said, I'm not having any luck, so let's just make a new season and put it on TV. So that's my guess.
That's really interesting. Now that you mention talking about Gendy and his involvement in movies, if I remember correctly, he's done movies in the past. He did Hotel Transylvania, which I actually just saw for the first time this year. I remember a little bit before or after Comic-Con, I don't know which one, I was texting Future Gohan saying, yo, man, I'm checking out this movie, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Have not seen the sequel yet. I don't know if you got a chance to, Jamie?
Unfortunately, no, I have not seen the sequel yet, but the first one is amazing.
Yeah, it's very good. Well worth your time and effort if you guys can go rent it, or it's probably on a streaming site somewhere, I hope. But he was attached to another movie. If I remember correctly, he was involved in the Popeye film?
Yes, he was attached to Popeye. It was originally supposed to be really good from the looks of it because they released that trailer or whatever. But then I don't remember if he got booted from the project and someone else is going to be directing, or if the whole project got canceled. I don't entirely remember, but I know that something's not what it was originally supposed to be.
Oh, okay, so he's kind of just off from the project. Now, have they decided to go forward with it and continue, or is it just kind of in development hell because they can't find someone to do a Popeye movie?
I actually don't remember. It's been a while since I read the article. I think that they are still going through with it. I think that they just went with a different director, I think.
No, okay, because that's interesting. Because if he was going to be involved in a Popeye movie, like the odds of him doing something Samurai Jack related seem pretty slim, to say the least.
Oh, yeah, I agree. In fact, one of the people who commented on my video released on my channel, they said that if it wasn't for him not being involved with the Popeye film anymore, they didn't think that this new season of Samurai Jack would have happened, which is actually kind of a good point.
Yeah, that's very strange. Obviously, we know people are busy with their time. Gendy obviously has a lot on his plate. So I guess there's always a silver lining to every situation. He didn't do Popeye, but he's back to do this new Samurai Jack season. So let's talk about Samurai Jack for a second. Now, it has been a very, very, very long time since Samurai Jack has been in the just been at the forefront of anything Cartoon Network related. I like to think of Samurai Jack as you're probably gonna disagree with me. Is I think it's probably one of the greatest cartoons of the past like 10, 15 years for the things that it's done that you wouldn't expect them to do on regular, children's, television blocks. Like the story, the background, the lore, the amount of action. Like it was a very, very serious show. And it was just so weird how they would like bookend this with stuff like Ed, Edd n Eddy and Powerpuff Girls and Codename Kids Next Door, like to the point where they would all be featured in advertisements for, like their summer blocks and stuff. So it was really, really like awesome to hear that this was coming back. Because, you hear about Samurai Jack, you love Samurai Jack, but, what are the odds of it making a return? I mean, sure, it's got a, really big cult following. And of course, there was the IDW comic that came out, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. But, how surprised were you at the fact that, this just came out of the blue and it's going to be on, Toonami in just a couple of months?
Well, I believe it or not, I was walking around Best Buy this morning waiting for my next class to start. And Danny Deersworld just sends this link through our group chat, and he says, "Hey, Future Gohan, you should probably check this out." And I'm sitting here watching this video, and I'm like, and all I see in the video is Jack returns in 2016 on Toonami Adult Swim, and so I'm thinking to myself, the very first thing I think of is, oh, they're playing reruns on Toonami in 2016. No, that's cool, I guess, but then I kept seeing articles and stuff popping up, and a brand new poster come out, and then Jack's in this armor and blah blah blah, and everyone's like new season, and I'm like, oh heck, this isn't reruns.
It's something better than that. So it was basically the same thing for me. I was actually working out this morning, and then I got the news that they were doing a new Samurai Jack, and I kind of had to stop myself and look at what I was reading, because I mean, you talk about classic TV shows making a comeback. You talk about this making a return, that making a return, but Samurai Jack was always at the bottom of the list because I just felt like if they were going to try to bring back a classic cartoon show, which it's so weird talking like classic because this show is like what, 10, not even, what, early 2000s Samurai Jack came out, right?
Yeah, I believe it came out, actually, I think it came out the year, I think it came out, no, it came out like 2000, maybe 2000 on the dot. Or if not 2000 on the dot, then like 2002.
Oh, okay. It's so weird. I mean, just thinking about it, like a show that's technically speaking not that old, making a return, and a show that wasn't like the typical thing you would see on Cartoon Network making a return. That was just so crazy. So on that front, I'm still flabbergasted at that whole point. But while it is awesome to see it make a return, there were a couple of things I know that, well, first and foremost, let's just preface this. Outside of the fact that this is making a return, it's coming out in 2016, and the original creators behind it, we really don't know anything else about this new Samurai Jack series. I know a lot of people are going to try to speculate on what's going to happen in the story, but, I don't think it... I mean, there's a time and place to do that once we see more about it. There was one thing, though, that I think you touched on in your video, Jamie, that you were kind of worried about more than anything. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, one thing that I was really worried about, and I still am, is whether or not the animation is going to stay faithful to the original, because I'm not sure exactly who it's being animated by now, because I remember how Cartoon Network, because they're not doing cell animation anymore, and Samurai Jack was almost entirely cell animation. So, I mean, they're not, sending their storyboards overseas to Korea anymore. They're not, they don't need to do that anymore because now we have newer programs. Now we do a lot of stuff in-house. It doesn't work that way anymore. So I don't know if they're going to be even shooting for the same stylistic look, or if Adult Swim is going to be doing it in-house. Shows like Rick and Morty, will it end up looking like that? Doubtful. I doubt they'll do that, but I mean, it's possible. There's a lot of fears that are held there, and I can only hope that the animation will look similar to the way it did in previous seasons. But there's also been a huge hype with CGI lately. It could be CGI.
Right.
You never know these days.
Yeah, you definitely do make a good point on that front. More than anything, when we see newer shows come back, in a lot of cases, they forego the original art style and what made them so good back then in favor of something that may be easier, maybe more marketable. Because, let's be honest, it's one of the main reasons why Disney moved away from doing traditional animation. Obviously, they saw that the market there wasn't as big as doing something, with CGI and, just computer animation, stuff like that. So, it's gonna be weird to see what they do. I hope that they keep it the same, because I think that art style really lends itself, to high definition, just like the amount of detail that you'd be able to see. Because like I said, I do think you need a little bit more diversity in what you're watching on TV as far as animation goes. I mean, even if it's something just for Samurai Jack that would have like one season. And I think seeing something like that in CG would look, I don't know, to me, it would just look really weird.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And actually, to go back and to touch up on what you actually said earlier about, Samurai Jack being this, action epic, but at the same time airing side by side with shows like, Ed, Edd n Eddy and Dexter's Laboratory. What was so great about Samurai Jack as a show was that it was this giant action adventure epic, but at the same time, it wasn't, trying to be something that it wasn't. It knew it was a cartoon, and it still had cartoon, stuff inside of it. Like, it knew when to be funny, it knew when to, take a scene, exactly the way it needed to and not be overly serious, or, it had a comedic style to it as well. So, I mean, Samurai Jack, it's just super awesome to see that it's finally back, because, especially with Gindi at the helm, because, we're finally getting some good old cartoons back again.
Yeah, I mean, there was some talk. I think Nickelodeon was talking about bringing back Hey Arnold for a new movie. There have been talks here and there, but I think one of the biggest players from back in the day that made a comeback, or it is making a comeback, and it sparked a lot of controversy, rightfully so. The amount of controversy you see for this particular show is the new Powerpuff Girls reboot. That's definitely caused a lot of people to have concern. Especially in regards to the voice acting department, and I don't think the original creator is behind that as well, right?
Right. Unfortunately, that's the scariest part. See, it's very different from what we've got going on here. Here we've got the original creator back, but Powerpuff Girls, he's got nothing to do with that series.
Yeah. So I have hope and I have faith, because the original creator is back, but we're definitely gonna have to wait and see what happens. Speaking specifically on the IDW comics, have you gotten a chance to check those out?
I've collected a few of them. Haven't actually sat down and read one. Other than a few panels, no. Danny actually has read all of them, and he loves them. So, I mean, that's a pretty big
That's
testament.
Any indication,
yeah,
folks,
if that's any indication,
of
yeah.
Quality here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new Samurai Jack TV series is set to premiere on Adult Swim in 2016 as part of their Toonami block. I'm definitely looking forward to see how this progresses and develops, because it's just something that is so out of the blue, and I definitely want to see where they're going to go with this. I don't know if this is just going to be one season, or if it becomes popular enough, it expands upon, multiple seasons. I mean, we could have I guess, quote unquote, Renaissance revival if this does well. I mean, how crazy would it be to see, classic shows just brought back and put on the new Toonami block? That'd be insane.
Yeah, I agree, and it's actually kind of surreal. I mean, we got, Samurai Jack coming back, and even though it doesn't have the original creator, we've got a form of Powerpuff Girls coming back, and then you got the splat with Nickelodeon, and it's actually pretty cool in a way to see how much of an effect the 90s clearly had, and that the fact that they're trying to just ride this nostalgia train, and it's really cool what they're trying to do with everything.
Yeah, when you get into the topic of nostalgia, it can always be a very, well, as we know, as fans of Dragon Ball Z, it could be a very dangerous territory. It can affect the opinions of fans and such, but I don't think you really get that with too many cartoons. I think that, the cartoons, they set out with what they were going to do. There's no need for, I guess, like a remake of them. But if you want to bring them back and put them on a new block, that's cool. If you have one that has a great story like Samurai Jack and you want to actually finish it, it's even better. So there is definitely something to be said on banking on nostalgia. because I mean, if it works, it works, and there's no harm involved, and in some cases you can get something cool, like a Samurai Jack. So in closing, this new series sets premiere in 2016. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm gonna pick up the comics for Samurai Jack and start reading those, because like I said, I've heard some very good stuff in the group chat from one Danny D's world. And hopefully, if some of the IDW elements could mix in with Gendy's vision. I don't know if he has read the comics. He's probably signed off on them, as most creators probably do. But I think we're definitely in for a treat as far as the future of the past goes, if that makes any sense, Jamie.
Yeah, Samurai Jack sewn Back to the Future, I guess.
Right, finally go back in time. Now all we need to see on the new Toonami block is the English dub of Kai Buu Saga, and then I think we'll be set next year.
Right?
All right. So I want to thank you so much for joining me on this video, Jamie. It was great having you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And to all you guys watching at home, I'm NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.
Bye.